It is windy. It's windy and I'm going to take this mask off for a bit. Oh, that's the Croatian embassy. Their flags are flying, like blowing all over the place. All the embassy flags are blowing. That's the old Pakistani embassy. I think that's for sale right now. I can't tell. But I always thought their flag was green. But that flag is kind of black. Yeah, this one is it's for lease. It's not for sale. So this embassy's for sale. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure what we're going to get. I know the drugstore in our neighborhood is all boarded up. This area here I don't think is going to get much protesting because this is the embassy diplomatic section. And no one's going to riot at the Haitian embassy because Trump or Biden won. Same with the Chilean embassy. But we are on the edge of downtown Washington, D.C. So I'm going to take you through the downtown area, and we're going to make our way over to the White House. There's the Egyptian embassy. Hello, Alabama. Next to Egypt is the Philippines, and then Vietnam, and then Kenya. Oh, they're all over there in a row. On my right-hand side, we got the Korean consulate coming up. Hey, Ontario, how's it going? Looks like they're going to build a new street. Maybe they take advantage of the chaos of the next few days to repave the streets. The truth be told, traffic is really low since the coronavirus. Let me pull my mask up because there's people coming. And because it's really cold today. It's like 45 degrees, that's like 7 Celsius. Oh, I miss Hong Kong every day. Especially when it's cold like today. So this is the South Korean. I think this is their visa section. And then this is the Latvian embassy. Latvia, with the most beautiful women in the world, according to many polls. And they really pushed books. The Latvian embassy gives away free books at their little library. A lot of the embassies will give away free books in an effort to introduce their authors to the West. Whatever you want to call it, to the American audience. This is the Turkish ambassador's house. That's the Romanian embassy. That's the Greek embassy. And that's the Irish embassy, where you get free Guinness every Friday. Just kidding. So this is the Turkish. This used to be the Turkish embassy, but now it's just the residence. I think it was the Turkish embassy. I guess he has kids. He's got like a place set in the backyard. That's the Romanian embassy. Most of the old Soviet embassies have these big, like, long-range radio antennas on the roof from the days of the Russians. Turkey on my right, Romania on the left. And we're actually going to sort of duck out of the embassy land. Oh, crap. I need to put my glove back on. Hang on, it's cold. So we actually have a gale force warning. We have a gale warning for the DC area today. Gale force winds have been like knocking over trees and stuff in different parts of the city. No, I haven't really been riding scooters that much since the COVID. I don't really want to touch them. Can the embassies rent out the building? Yeah, I mean, if they own the property, I think they could rent it out. I'm not sure though, because a lot of the embassy grounds are actually zoned diplomatic. So only diplomats and their families and stuff can work or live there. So I think there is it's like, some stuff is zoned for retail. Some stuff is zoned diplomatic. That was a Buffalo. That's the Dumbarton Bridge into Georgetown. And that bridge honors Native Americans, actually. It's got buffaloes on the top, and they have these Indian headdresses carved into the bridge. It's really quite a beautiful bridge. And that's sort of one of the 3 or 4 bridges that goes into Georgetown over the Rock Creek Parkway. So up ahead is an area known as DuPont Circle. We're going to sort of duck through DuPont just a little bit, and then we're going to come into the west end of the city. And then from the west end, we're going to go right to the White House. The West End has had a bit of rioting in the past, so I suspect a lot of stuff there will be boarded up. They're preparing for anything. To be honest, we've been actually having riots in D.C. all week due to a police-involved killing, basically. Police were chasing a guy who was riding a moped on a sidewalk. Yeah, so the police were chasing this dude, and then he went right out in traffic and got run over by a car. So people are blaming the cops for killing him. And that's led to a couple nights of rioting in another part of town. I think they're kind of quieted down over the weekend, though. They released the body camera video. Anytime a person dies in police incident, within 24 hours they have to release the body camera video. In DC, it's a law. Yeah, there was some rioting in Georgetown, but that was actually, I call it rioting, but the reality is it was just theft. Yeah, most of the police officers were dealing with a real riot, like tear gas riot, up by the police station where the guy got killed. And as a result, people went into the Georgetown area where there's like nice stores and tried to steal stuff. But the police came flying down, and stopped it. So only like 1 or 2 stores got smashed. And then they tried it again later in like Bethesda, which has a lot of really ritzy stores on the DC Maryland line. But again, the police shut them down. It was a bizarre night because we had a riot unit, which is like 8 or 9 police cars, flying south to Georgetown. And then like, I swear, like 5 minutes later, the same cars like turned around, making their way back up to Bethesda. So it's just like, can't find the riots. Georgetown's right there. It's on the other side of this park right there. Georgetown was a city before Washington, D.C. was declared, and then D.C. eventually subsumed it, took over their government. It was actually a shipping port for tobacco and cotton and stuff like that. And it was kind of a poor neighborhood until the 1950s when it became gentrified. One of the gentrifiers of Georgetown was John F. Kennedy. He bought a big old house in Georgetown, remodeled it, made it look nice, and then many other people started to move to Georgetown. Now Georgetown is like the swankiest of the swank neighborhoods in D.C. And it's often a target for anti-gentrifying classes, racist rioting and stuff, because there's a lot of shops there. So, straight ahead, we're going to come to George Washington University, and then we're going to go down Pennsylvania Avenue, past the World Bank and the IMF, and I'm pretty sure those guys have boarded up. And then we'll come to the White House. How's the Philippines doing? The Philippines had like a massive typhoon, like one of the strongest typhoons ever recorded, except for one other typhoon that hit the Philippines. It's like 190 mile an hour, 150 mile an hour winds, 190 mile an hour winds, I think, which is just insane. Let's go across this way. All right, we're back. Sorry about that. Phone calls mess up Periscope. So this is the Embassy of Peru, and yeah, they're boarding up the Embassy of Peru. They're boarding up basically this whole row of shops. So we're about 6 blocks from the White House, but they've opted, of course the liquor store has to get boarded up. Hello. So we're about 6-7 blocks from the White House, and they're boarding up there. Let's go down M Street here. M as in Mary. Hey, Bangor. I got my glove back on. So they're boarded up that hotel over there on the right. Actually, that's a hospital, a medical facility. This is a fire station here. That's one of the, that's the Embassy of Senegal. That was one of the Swiftwater rescue teams back there. That little truck, that little fire truck that you saw back there was a Swiftwater rescue truck. We have the Potomac, the Rock Creek Parkway, and the Anacostia Rivers in Washington, D.C. And there are a lot of kayakers who get in trouble, especially when it rains a lot. And so this team has like a Zodiac boat, and then they'll rush out and try to rescue people who get stuck. Here's some more boards coming up. No, that's a different fire station from my Instagram. This is actually a brand new fire station. I rephrase that. It was an old fire station. Then they sold the development rights above the fire station with a condition: build us a new fire station, and then you can build anything you want on the 10 stories above it. So the developers went ahead and did that. You know, all the drugstores are really boarded up. This is a Walgreens. I noticed that the CVS's are all boarded up too. Yeah, the World Bank got kind of nailed. It's down to my right. I think we'll go by it in a bit. Oh, there's some more boards up ahead. God, how many trees had to die for this? So many trees, so many pieces of plywood. Sorry about the first broadcast getting interrupted. It's actually warmer down here. I'm actually getting a little hot. Up in my part of the city where I started my hike, it's very windy. But down here, the buildings are stopping the winds. Hey, Zen. How's it doing, Gwen? And as a result, I'm actually kind of hot. All right, I was gonna jaywalk. Shoot. I can jaywalk. There's like 7 different ways to go. Don Shula used to have a steakhouse over here. It's gonna warm up here, but Hong Kong's got a typhoon coming. So this Friday in Hong Kong, they've got a typhoon that's probably gonna hit it. So I've been in touch with my friends. It's an issue over there because when you arrive in Hong Kong, you have to go to quarantine for 2 weeks. And you can pretty much only eat takeout food for 2 weeks. So if the city shuts down, all the people in quarantine are going to go hungry. Whoa, it's cold. So cold. Now, right up here is CBS News, Washington, D.C. Headquarters. So whenever you say, someone's saying, oh, this is Joe Blow, CBS News, Washington, they're actually filming it right here on this street. Like these guys. I voted in Maryland. I've already voted. I voted by mail-in ballot. But I actually didn't mail it in. I just sort of stuck it in a box. Some more boarding over there. We're on M as in Mary and 20th Street. So we're about 4 blocks west of the Capitol. I'm sorry, 4 blocks west of the White House and about 4 or 5 blocks north of the White House. Man, it's like everywhere, isn't it? It's pretty much every shop is boarded up here. This entire street is boarded up, both sides of the street. It's El Salvador, Honduras. That's the consulate of Honduras. Predictions for tomorrow, I'm going to stay in bed most of the day. Honestly, I've worked in campaigns, and I tell you, the most boring, miserable day of a campaign is election day. Because basically from 9 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock in the afternoon, there's nothing you can do. You just sit around. How long are they planning to? I don't know. They just boarded up over the weekend. I imagine. I don't know why they're doing this. I mean, if Biden wins, they're just going to take it down. It's not going to be a big deal. If Trump wins, it might be necessary, but I don't know how long. DC is 93% Democratic voters. I mean, I think there's like no Republicans in the district. I think I think the real issue is opportunism. I don't think they're really expecting a riot, but they do expect people to try to take advantage of the situation, you know? So they're kind of protecting themselves. It might have something to do with insurance too. Like if you don't cover up with plywood, you haven't taken like a reasonable precaution to protect your property, such that maybe your insurance isn't a thing. I don't know, maybe that's the case. See, now I'm getting hot again. Now I'm in the sun. I can take my gloves off. No, I don't have my OJ gloves today. So the first places to board up with the drugstores. I mean, like, because, you know, the pharmacies, they had to board up because they've got street grade narcotics inside. It is kind of like Walking Dead right now. It's really boring right now. So these restaurants, I can't eat inside. The embassies, there are a couple embassies down in this area, and they are barricaded, but the major Embassy Row area is not barricaded. They have a special police force that guards. Screw this mess. Ugh. They have a special police force that guards the embassies, and they're not going to be that busy, I don't think. I don't expect riots. Honestly, I expect everybody's going to be watching TV until about 2 in the morning, to be honest. And the weather today, it's really cold. And if it's like this cold tomorrow night, I don't see people coming out to riot. I'm like, screw that, it's cold. If by some reason it's some sort of Trump landslide, then yeah, I think people are going to there's going to be some chaos here. But I don't think it's going to be that. Though, I mean, you got to ask, why are they putting these boards up? I mean, I literally have not seen a Trump flag or sign or MAGA hat anywhere in this city. I mean, because this is just 93% Democratic, you know, it's just not like there's even that many people. And the ones that are Republican are like the country club, eating brie. So, this is a sandwich shop. Hotel is closed. Oh, they boarded up the pokey restaurant. The poke bowl. Yeah, we're at to see Little Sesame. What the hell is that? Is that a Chinese place? Alright guys, we're just a couple blocks from the White House now. This was the area that was heavily affected by the George Floyd riots. So most of these glass windows were just replaced about a month ago after the George Floyd riots. So I think some of the store owners are like, hell, it's cheaper to put plywood up than it is to buy glass again. All right. So we got 2 blocks to get to Connecticut and then 2 blocks to get to the White House. So we're about 4 blocks from the White House now. DC has a 100% mask rule. Oh, so this place they've got boards on the inside. Like, we don't care about the glass, we care about all that stuff inside. So Nordstrom Rack has boarded up on the inside. Let's cut over this way. If you don't wear a mask, not much. I mean, the police could harass you, but it's only as if the police are looking for a reason to harass you, which they aren't really. But most people cooperate. I mean, DC itself has had a relatively low infection rate. DC, Maryland, and Virginia are actually, I mean, if you look at the maps, yeah, the case numbers are going up, but nowhere as near as dangerous levels as other places. DC had a bit of a scare last spring when the numbers were going up and the hospitals were really close to the edge. I mean, like, a couple more days, the hospitals would have been overwhelmed. And then they back down. So they take it pretty serious. Like, my son cannot have any organized sports practice. Their school is set that only half of the kids go to school one week, half the kids go the next week. And, oh, that building's all boarded up. This building's all boarded up. In fact, one of my kids is not at school today because we have to answer like 14 questions every day before they're cleared to go to school. And today, my son, on Saturday night, he played a soccer game and he came home with a sore throat. So the thing said, have you had a sore throat in the last like 48 hours? And we're like, well, technically, yeah, we had a sore throat. And then the app said, stop, you are not allowed to go to school today. I was like, oh, great. Honestly, down in this area, it's about 75% of the buildings are boarded up. And the things that are not boarded up are like parking garages. All right, guys, so we're coming up to the White House. We're 2.5 blocks away from the White House. They're supposed to have a big fence. An unscalable fence is being erected at the White House, so they said. So another bank over there is boarded up. So I'll be at the White House in less than 5 minutes. But honestly, I don't know how close I can get today. The White House has been surrounded by riot fencing since the summer. Honestly, I don't even know what to think. This election defies prediction. There's so many mail-in votes that the polls are so off. I mean, I don't know if there's any undecided voters left yet still today. And that's who the polls are trying to influence, but like I said, all right, so we got to cut through this park and 1 block to the White House. So the bank over there is boarded up. This is Farragut Square, if you guys are following me online. I'm at the Farragut North Metro Station. That's Farragut West Metro Station. Those are the two stations closest to the White House. I gotta go through this park and I gotta watch out for heroin needles. Yeah, this park's got a problem. Okay. I don't see no fence. Oh my God, they had to board up the Froyo yoga place. Yeah, there's a drug problem in DC, in the parks. This one's pretty heavily traveled, so there's a lot of people. So, you know, it's not that bad, but it's always something you worry about. Okay, let's not get hit by a bus. So the Black Lives Matter sign is over there. I'll take you to see that in a bit. That's across the street. Okay, the White House is right down there. Well, tell the people who own all the plywood companies. Now, down here by the White House, everything is boarded up. These are all boarded up. Those are all boarded up. Let me take you over to Black Lives Matter Plaza. It's probably boarded up. It's still boarded up. The ATM isn't boarded up. So basically down here, we're 1 block from the White House. This was tear gas city during the George Floyd riots. So pretty much every place down here is boarded up. Even the doors in the back and the alleys. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, the Kansas City Chiefs, and voting. Yeah, down here everything is covered. Pretty much everything is covered down here. I don't think we have any gun stores in DC. DC is like really anti-gun. I mean, technically you can own a gun, but I don't think they have any stores. So this guy is boarding up the staircase. Now they had it boarded all the way up. So this is where the heavy fighting took place during George Floyd. This is the giant mural that says Black Lives Matter that you guys probably saw on TV. I swear, man, I wish I had a plywood future. So this is the big Matters. That's the church where President Trump waved the Bible in front of that church. This building's all boarded up. So you remember when they cleared the streets? That took place right over here. So all the media looking for someone to interview. So now we're getting closer to the actual White House. I don't think we can get in though today. I think they've closed the park. I voted already. Okay, so for those who are wondering, the White House is back there. I can't even show it to you because, let me turn the camera around. There we go. So the White House is down in the corner there. All the comments were in the way. There's a second fence put up there. Then there's I don't know where this unassailable fence is. I don't see it. They're gonna do a 180 again. Yeah, this perimeter is much bigger than normal. What the hell's that? Univision, that's the Spanish TV station. So there, oh, here we go, we got a much better view. So there's a second fence line. Can you guys see that? Ah, there it is. There's a second fence line there. I'm gonna go around the side, okay? So we're gonna go around this. We have to go around about a block, and then we'll try to get closer to the White House. But I think we're in full lockdown mode, and I don't think we can get much closer than we are right now. It's about a block. They've actually closed 2 blocks on the other side of the White House, which is silly, because there's like nothing but fields outside. No, I mean normally, yeah. Oh, I can get my camera through here. So normally I can go all the way up, not past this fence, but to the next fence, to the actual White House Capitol grounds. But since the George Floyd riots, these fences have been up. Now there's a second level of fencing, and then supposedly they're putting up a third level of fencing. I haven't seen it though. So we're gonna go around. That's a wolf pack of tow trucks. The DC government is probably the best towing government in the planet. They love to tow cars. Now what are these guys doing? That's pretty random. More fence crews. The fencing's for riots, to keep people away. Yeah, this place just put fences around it rather than the boarding up. So we'll go back down to this street here, and it's going to be full of boarded up buildings. Even McDonald's, I suspect. Is there supposed to be a massive riot? We don't really know. Nobody really knows. If Trump wins, people are going to be upset, but probably not here because there's not a lot of Republicans here. I'm sorry, vice versa, Biden wins. But if Trump wins, there could be trouble here. There's actually a fire station just up the street, Engine 16, and they're known as First Due at the White House. And First Due at the White House comes in. They actually have a very detailed plan for a fire at the White House, and they actually rehearse it a couple times a year, and it involves probably a battalion of fire trucks. I mean, 3 or 4 ladder companies, a dozen engine companies, ambulances, rescue squads, whatever. It's pretty crazy. So when when the president's not home, they'll do this drill called like White House fire drill, and they come screaming in from all over the city, and each truck has like a pre-assigned mission. So like one ladder truck sets up in front of the White House and throws its ladder up to the 3rd floor as fast as humanly possible, because that's like the presidential evacuation ladder. And then another truck goes to the other side of the White House and does the same up to the portico, which is where the president actually lives, the residence. So they have this like whole set fire truck procedure whenever there's a fire at the White House. Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do with there's like all these fences. But I suspect this road here is the car access, and it's usually blocked by what we call ram cars. Ram cars are police cruisers idling, and their mission is to ram anyone who tries to break in through here. So there's always a couple ram cars around. Let's see what's going on down here. Let's get some military dudes. So that's the White House down there. Oh, they're putting up, yeah, so they are putting up a fence down there. This is pathetic. Oh, actually, you know what? That's not actually because of the riots. That's because of the inauguration. So they're setting up the construction for the inauguration down there. Oh, movie, TV announcer. All right, let's go down. Oh, bunch of cruisers. Bunch of police cars coming into the White House. Oh, they got their MRAP. Guys, get your screen capture ready. Get your screen capture.
His elevation moment truly brought something good to our nation.
Riot police.
Well, you know what? I got it, baby. I got it. I got some of that blessing. I got some of that blessing.
Screen capture.
That's what I'm talking
That's
about.
the park.
Race the ones.
Yeah, it's just a more smaller armored car. That's park police, I think. These are all park police. Yeah, this is a park police riot squad. This is like the standard cop car in DC, is this Suburban. Now this is a park police unit. Park police is going to be in charge of the park. Yeah, there's a steam tunnel there. Hi, do you know if the ellipse is closed?
The ellipse is open.
So I can cut across?
Yeah, you gotta go, there's construction right down here in East Street.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a wooden bridge just below.
Oh, okay. By the tree and stuff, the Christmas tree sort of.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Good, I can get on the other side. I didn't want to walk down here. Actually, there were like no fences until like the 1950s or so. I actually knew a woman who used to like go out to the White House and picnic, have her like office lunch on the White House grounds because there were no fences. Then in the 1950s, there was an assassination attempt on President Truman, and things got a little bit more tense. And then, of course, the 60s and 70s, and then one of their assassination attempts on Ford, and the assassination attempt on Reagan, and then Oklahoma City is when they closed off all the streets. So, like, if you guys watch the movie All the President's Men, yeah, people could picnic on the White House lawn. They just go out and have lunch or something. So if you watch All the President's Men, there's a scene where they're in a taxi cab and they come out of what's called East Executive Avenue, which is the road next to the White House. And then they turn onto this street, East Street. Well, East Executive Avenue was closed by Reagan. And then East Street was closed by Clinton. And Bush's campaign promised to reopen these streets to make the White House more accessible to the American public. But then 9/11 pretty much put the kibosh on that, and it's been closed ever since. Yeah, it's one of the things they're talking about. It's actually because of these restrictions you can no longer visit this memorial, which is a memorial to the Big Red One, the 1st Infantry Division, the 1st Division of the U.S. Army. Now their memorial is pretty much closed off. I never really know, but if you look at this memorial on Google Maps, there's actually a giant one in the grass, though there is a sidewalk that cuts through it. The Red Cross building is just up here on the right. It's a really beautiful building. We'll see it in just a second. They got a lot of construction going on. New security booths. Are we still there? Are we still there? My wife is calling. We might lose the signal, guys. If we lose the signal, I'm sorry. But that happens. There's the Red Cross. Okay. I actually put on the Do Not Disturb, but I guess she knows how to get through my Do Not Disturb. If she calls back again, it's urgent. If not, I'll call her in a few minutes, because we're almost to the back of the White House. Trump's in North Carolina. He's going to Pennsylvania today. Pull my mask down for a bit. Whew. Okay, so we're on the ellipse. This is what I asked the cop about, because they're supposed to close this area off, which is really stupid, because this is like so far away from the White House. But whatever. They just built that little wooden bridge. There's a ton of construction going on. Man, what's that? It's like a... What is that they're delivering? There's like a truck delivering a massive Jersey barrier or something. Oh, it's not a Jersey barrier. It's just... So we're going to end up... I don't even know if we're going to see the White House, guys. Because it's behind that tree, behind that fence. Everything's all kafuckered. Can't see the Washington Monument over here on the right, or as my kids call it, the big stick. God, it's windy today. There's like a gale warning today, so it's like really windy today. It was so windy, I actually saw the flag at the British Embassy. If you look at my Instagram, Penguin6, I actually put a photo up of the British Embassy flag because I'd never actually seen it blowing out. I thought it was just a Union Jack, but no. Apparently embassies have a diplomatic or ambassador's flag. So that's why they had that thing up. Oh, they're getting the Christmas tree ready. So that's the National Christmas Tree, and they're putting lights on it, guys. Christmas is coming. All right, so the White House is behind this white fence. This white fence is actually temporary, and it's not related to the riots. This fence here is because they're replacing the normal White House fence, which used to be an 8-foot fence, and they're putting up a 12-foot fence. So Trump got a wall, maybe not the one he wanted, but he did get a new 12-foot wall. They think that'll cut down the number of jumpers. Jumpers are a rather not an infrequent thing. Are there canines? There are canines all over the place. Yeah, there are dogs everywhere. There are snipers on their roof. There are missile batteries on some of the buildings over here, anti-aircraft missile batteries. There's a counter-assault team stationed in the Treasury building. That's the team that comes out to push back any assault on the White House. And that, of course, is the White House. We can't really see anything. Stand on this stone, I can get a little higher. There we go. There's the White House. There's the Christmas tree. See, they're putting the Christmas lights on already. What time is it now? I don't even know. It's 12:30. It's 12:37 in Washington, D.C. I think the dogs have actually bit people. So, anyway, guys, I tell you what, I do have to call my wife back. So I'm going to leave you here at the White House. I hope you enjoyed this little hike through the city. Be sure to vote, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye-bye.